Hello YouTube, and welcome to episode number 20 of our two-handed physical Savagery Archon, where last episode we finished up in veteran difficulty, and this episode we will be starting elite. Now we have already been here a little bit in elite in order to get the Slith Primal Ring to fix our resistance problems, which are, by the way, back. We'll definitely have to fix that before we go into Act 2. But we'll see what we can do with that. So we have done some of Act 1, but we're going to smash the rest of it out real quick and probably move on then to Act 2. So yeah, let's get into it. Quest-wise, we have to help Barnabas, we have to find the apprentice, and we have to kill Negan the Withered, and then go through the flooded passage. So we're going to help Barnabas here, for which I need to go raid the bank. All these quests are basically the same as normal. In fact, I think they're literally the same as normal in Elite. So I'm just going to smash through them. If you have any questions about them or whatever, it's probably answered in the normal playthrough. But, you know, if it's not, feel free to ask in the comments. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. So, yeah, we're just going to smash through this as quick as we can. The objective, I guess, is to get up to the areas of the game where we can find replacements for the monster infrequent items we are wearing. So that is going to be, hang on, going into combat without any of my buffs on. Not generally a good idea. So yeah, the earliest MIs are going to be probably the Troll Bone Crusher. And then I think we may. I'm just not gonna farm Zarya again. I might do it in an ultimate, but I just can't do that again. This character, the character sheet, I just had a look before I started this video. It's got 13 hours something played, and probably 5 of those hours was just farming Zarya on normal. I'm not doing it again. If she drops it, the amulet with better stats than the one we have, great. And if not, I don't care. That amulet is pretty much entirely there for the +1 to skills, and anything else it has is a bonus. We're going to be focusing mostly on getting a decent amount of armor and armor absorption, as well as keeping our resistances maxed. As you can see, the damage is still perfectly fine, and that's going to be mostly taken care of with an upgrade to our weapon. And then at 65 we may go back to normal and just do a few bounties for Malmo, just to get to Honored, I think it is, where we can get the level 65 armor from them. And then that'll be it, straight shot through to level 100 and ultimate. So, I don't know really what there is to say about this stuff. Like, all these quests are exactly the same as when we did them in normal. We're back in Act 1, which, I mean, these monsters are more difficult than the last time, but the build is also considerably more powerful, so we should pretty much just be trouncing all of this, and we are. Most of it's dying in 1 or 2 hits. Hopefully, I don't get too cocky and die. Cindervane Mantle, it's going to be a fire version of what we have, I guess. Massive downgrade in armor, not interested. So, probably just going to end up rushing through Act 1, probably rushing through Act 2 as well. Veloth's Ring would have been really good if we were doing a poison build, and resistant of attack might still be... no, it's no good. In Elite though, we will start having to pay more for our devotion shrines, which is a little bit of a pain, but you know, it is what it is. We're just about... how close are we actually? 33. Okay, so we're not actually just about done, but we will be done probably, I don't know, around Act 2 in Elite, maybe Act 3. We will have to, I don't know why I'm still here, we will have to craft a few items for the elite shrines, because as I said, they are going to start costing more expensive, or to be more accurate, more crafted components. For instance, I know for a fact that I'm going to need a Vengeful Wraith at some point. Unfortunately, I haven't unlocked the blacksmith yet on elite, so we'll have to go do that. I think we already did this this shrine. I'll just poke my head in there, but I'm pretty sure we already got it. Yeah, it's uncovered. We've already got that. Alright, so we're just going to push on. I am going to go back for Negan, though, because he is just down here. I really don't want that quest sitting on my screen for the rest of the game. You may have noticed that at the end of, or what I was saying was the end of normal, I hadn't actually set foot into Forgotten Gods beyond just getting this movement rune unlocked. The reason for that is that this game has way more XP available than you need to get to 100. Typically, when I've been playing other characters, for example, my Hardcore Death Knight hit level 100 in Act 4 in Ultimate difficulty, and that character had never done any Forgotten Gods on any difficulty again, aside from unlocking the movement runes. Actually, I don't think he even did that because Blitz exists. So I don't think he even set foot into Forgotten Gods until after he was level 100, and it was just completely not a problem. So if your build doesn't need any of the gear from there, then realistically you may be risking death, because a lot of the tombs in the Forgotten God areas have a lot of damage and it can be very spiky. Some of the bosses there can also be very spiky. So there is a decent risk of death, and if you don't need any of the items that drop from there, you're doing it for basically nothing. So this character does need a couple of the augments at the end, but pretty much all of the augments available from the 3 witch cults are available from other factions, just with a little bit less effect. Like it'll be, 8 Aether damage instead of 13, which the witch cult versions are better, absolutely, but your build is not going to, fail to work if you don't have that extra 5 flat Aether damage, or, whatever it happens to be. Maybe you get 15% PS resistance instead of 12. It's not going to be the end of the day. So what this character is going to do is I'm going to play through Acts 1 through 4, and then 5 and 6, which is Malmo, on normal, elite, and ultimate. And when I get to ultimate, after probably I've beaten Ashes of Malmo, I will go and do Forgotten Gods pretty much at the end, and I'll just smash it out on normal, then elite, and then in veteran. And I think for this character I'm going to do each of the cults once. Typically I will pick Bismail as my cult for just all 3 difficulties on just about every character, unless I need an MI from one of the others specifically for the build. Because Bismail is considerably easier, that's going to be pretty much the same, isn't it? More resist, same attack damage converted to health. Slightly more vitality, flat damage. That is a ridiculously tiny upgrade. I don't care enough to swap it over. Yeah, so we're going to do Forgotten Gods, normal, elite, and then ultimate, back to back at the end. Because there's nothing from there that I need aside from augments, and we can get them at the end when we're looking to min-max the build. And actually this build was designed, or the whole point of this playthrough, I guess, was to get to level 100. And then from there, get it to the point where it can farm, totems, treasure troves, Shattered Realm, whatever your preferred poison is. Get it to the point where it can farm those things to get the legendaries to go into a more end game focused build. For me, I will probably be farming for the Avengers set for this build, unless I see something better. That's what I'm going to go for. I actually already have the full set sitting in the bank on my Death Knight, but I think I want to farm it on this character, just to show that it can be done. I think that's definitely the way to go. Alright. So Angram is just over here, same as in normal. Everything is the same as in normal. Okay, we're going to take Angram again. I think Duncan has different crafting options, but his seem to be mostly focused on guns and such. I think he gives you an extra crafting option in terms of he will just give you or you'll be able to craft a pistol recipe from him, and there may be others that I'm not aware of. In fact, there probably is, because I almost never take him. When I was learning the game, everyone basically said, like, hey, take Angram, because he gives you, I think it's armor on his crafts, and armor is better than, whatever Duncan gives you. So I've just taken Angram pretty much every time, except I did do a Purifier build, which was a dual pistol build, and I took Duncan for that, and that let me craft a pistol. And that was the only benefit I noticed. Like I said, there may have been other benefits, but I definitely didn't notice them at the time. Alright, another shrine. Elite does add an additional shrine in the first act, which we are going to go get. It's in one of the... it's not really a secret side area, but it's a very well hidden one that you're probably not going to find by accident. Most people who go into this area knew it was there before they went looking. But I will do it on Elite, and by the time we get to Ultimate, I'm just not going to need more shrines, so I probably won't do it on Ultimate. Though there is an Exalted chest in there, so maybe I will. But I think I will leave it for level 100 when I do that. Okay. Build's doing pretty well, taking out the bosses fairly quickly. Although these trash monsters just keep coming. I think with our piercing resist being this low, the thing I'm most scared of is archers and these goblins at the moment. 20% is very low. How do we get over there? Do I see two totems or just the one? Gotta go get not Angram, what's his name? Olgrim. Devil's Crossing's gotta have a cook. I don't remember if I got Alistair's diary on normal, so we'll go in there and get that now. When you pick up lore notes, you only get the XP once, so if you didn't get them in normal, you can pick them up in Elite or later. Well, in Ultimate, I guess. There is no later after that. But you only get the XP once. So it's usually best to just pick them up at the earliest occasion and just read them. Okay. Shrine murdered, Faith's Guard, a couple of blueprints, and a bunch of rares that will turn into iron bits. There's a lot of Mage Storm stuff. Alright. And that blue was a shield. Frostguard Girdle. I'm never going to make that because it doesn't have +1 to skills. And the Elixir of the Hunt, which actually is really good for fighting bosses. All that attack and casting speed, really good. The movement speed is nice as well, but most builds, by the time they get to the point where they're thinking about making potions, their move speed is going to be capped. Let's get a cook. See you in Devil's Crossing. I think with the leveling, once we get access to... Oh, we could get it now. I think I'm going to put a point in Via's Might, just for the ability to move without requiring a target. So at the moment I can spam this movement rune all I like, and until my mouse hits a target that I can attack, it's going to do nothing. Okay. The fight for Burridge Village, or at least the Rift, I guess, since no one lives here anymore. Fight appears to be over before they can drag themselves out of the ground. Alright, we're done. The Rift is ours. Alright, report back, find the apprentice, report back, and report back. So, we're going to move on. Just keep going. I am going to get the fabric from the docks, because it's more reputation for Devil's Crossing, although I think we are already honored with them. I could be wrong. Am I wrong? Devil's Crossing? Oh, we're still respected. I want to get to honored. Well, I want to get to revered, obviously, but honored will do for a start. That's one of the major things we're going to be doing. That totem is not the major things we're going to be doing, but it's something I am going to do. One of the major things we're going to be doing in Elite is actually getting as many of our factions to revered as we can, or at least to honored, but mostly to revered. That'll give us access to the augments, and we'll probably want augments going into ultimate. Vengeance, don't we already have that one? I guess not, because it can't drop if you've already learned it. But anyway, it's no good for us. Soul Thief. That sounds like something that's not going to be much use. Yep, a weapon. Those pants are not very good. Alright, moving on. Yeah, so in Elite, we're going to be focusing on getting our reputation up. We're going to be focusing on getting replacements for all of the MIs that we're using, especially the weapon, and we're going to be focusing on keeping our resistances maxed, and if we can, overcapping them. So I'm going to be looking at quest options like the in Act 2, the Redoran Ring. May in fact be better for the build or for the character than this ring, which, I mean, this ring is a bit of health, some Aether resist, some Vitality resist, and like that's it, because we don't need the Lightning and Cold. So, I mean, that's not a lot of stuff. And the Redoran Ring, having said that, we've got piles of Chaos, so maybe not. And if we do take the option to get the ring from that quest, it's a little bit scummy. Like, in the real world, you wouldn't do it. Especially not if you knew the story. So maybe I won't do it. But those sorts of options are things you need to keep in mind when going through. Yeah, it's kind of scummy to do it, but if you need Chaos Resists, I wonder what that is. We've got it. Is that the Wraith Knights? Yeah, that's the Soul Well. That's basically doing nothing. Those are the sorts of things you can do where you're trading, I guess, morality for a nice item, or an item that might help you survive. In Ultimate, I am absolutely rescuing the trader. Or not rescuing him, but I'm definitely not killing him, because one-off ring is basically worthless when you compare it to the alternative, which is another merchant in Homestead that will sell you potions. And potions is something you definitely want. So just like every time you go past him, open his shop, buy his potions. He usually has either one or two. I think it's one or two. It might only be one. But anyway, he has potions and you want them. And I think we'll do that in normal as well. Alright. Another fight. This one's considerably tankier. That one's definitely not. What are you? You are Oscillion something or other. There we go, we were respected with the outcast and we've never done a quest for her. Also, because of that, because we've never done a quest for her, if you have a look at our Black Legion, we're actually at Honored already. If we had been doing her quests, probably be back down here somewhere. What were those pants? They are... man, if they were empowered, they would actually be really good. Oh, actually, Primal Strike's useless for us, so not really good, but they would be good. Elemental and Poison Res. Okay. Can skip all this rubbish. See if the Salt Circle works. Not on them. Alright, let's go say hi to Krieg. Again, I've already got all the law books in here from normal, except these ones. But they're downstairs, they can stay there. Just going to run through here. We have got a level up as well, so I'm going to put 1 point into Vaya's Might to get some, or an additional movement speed, or movement skill, and then we continue pumping the bar. I definitely do prefer the Shadow Strike or Charge kind of abilities over the Vaya's Might ones. The Vaya's Might ones have the advantage of not needing a target, but they have the disadvantage of being much shorter range. And it feels like they're slower as well. Maybe that's just me though. It does do damage, which is nice. I think it's physical as well. Let's head down here towards this totem. This one here, the Ancient Aetherwarp totem in the Warden's Cellar, is notorious for being very dangerous and killing a lot of builds. So we're gonna go kill it like it's nothing. Touch wood. And yeah, we'll just see what happens. I'm pretty sure we will kill it. Maybe not like it's nothing, but we will definitely kill it. Alright. That was a waste of time, I guess. Empowered Malady, so two-handed range weapon. Don't really care about that. So when you're doing scary totems in hardcore, just go around, clear the area. It's worth it to take a couple extra seconds, just to make sure. You want to be fighting as little as you can. I'm actually going to clear the next room as well. So I've had a few suggestions for what build I should do next. I've had a few people suggest that the Death Knight that I've been talking about, I may end up just doing an item showcase for that, because honestly everybody's done Death Knight leveling guides and whatnot. And they all basically boil down to play a soldier and level with Force Wave. And somehow try not to neck yourself while you're doing it, because it is boring. So I may end up doing a kind of like a showcase, I guess, instead of actually doing a playthrough with it. I'm kind of tossing up at the moment between a Spellbinder focusing on Aether damage, or a Vitality Caster. Again though, Vitality Caster's kind of been done, just because it's one of the two farmable sets. So everybody suggests you play it as your first class. See, this one's one of the movement runes that you can craft. I'm not going to use it because it requires a shield. But yeah, so I'm kind of tossing up between an Aether Spellbinder, which I would definitely not level exactly how it's going to be at the end. I'm thinking about making it Panetti's build at the end, but Panetti's requires levels and gear to really... I mean, it works without the gear, and it works to level with, but man, it's painful. At least, you know, Force Wave is boring but effective, whereas Panetti's Replicating Missile is... I wouldn't say it's boring, but it's also not very effective. Force Wave is miles ahead of it. So I would most likely level up to Act 3 with Aether Skeletons, which, I mean, if your build has Necromancer in it and you're not leveling with Skeletons, you're doing something wrong. Well, maybe not wrong, but you could be doing it more right, I'll say, because Skeletons, at least through normal, are the best leveling skill in the game. Never mind pets, they're the best leveling skill, full stop. So if I end up doing the Aether Spellbinder, I will level with pets until Homestead. Then I will most likely swap to Albrecht's Aether Ray until Malmo, and then I will farm up the in the Ancient Grove. There's one of the bosses there drops an MI that will I forget exactly what it does. I think it converts your Panetti's into Aether, so I may swap to that then, or maybe in Elite once we've got a few more levels. But that's the plan for the Spellbinder. The other option that people were requesting is a Vitality Caster, which, I mean, realistically, I'm not doing a Conjurer, so it's either going to be an Oppressor or a Ritualist, I think. If I do a Vitality Caster, probably an Oppressor. The Ritualist is most likely more powerful, but it also has a lot more buttons, and for a starter, the Oppressor's already got 3 spells that it's rotating, plus defensive buttons, plus a movement skill. For the Ritualist, you also have, you know, you throw in your totems, you throw in your Devouring Swarm for debuffing. You're still using Ravenous Earth and Bone Harvest for damage, maybe Siphon Souls as well, I don't know. But there's just a lot of stuff going on, and for a beginner build I feel like the more simple, less buttons build is probably the way to go. I think I just walked around in a circle. Yeah, I did. That's fine. Yeah, so there's those options. I kind of want to steer away from another melee build after playing this one. If I did do another melee build, though, it would probably be some sort of dual wield. Maybe an Acid Dervish, focusing on dual wielding, and then maybe towards the end put a few points into the Shiny Boys from Oathkeeper and the Blade Spirits from Nightblade, and maybe kind of swap it over to a pets build kind of thing. Or maybe like a 3/4 player build and 1/4 pets. I don't know. Think of something. think just a plain pure melee build though is probably not on the cards. The other one I was thinking of was actually a build that I think Arcade Life has a video about it. It's basically an apostate, so Necromancer and Inquisitor. And the basic idea is you stack vitality damage and auras, and it's pistol build kind of, but mostly it's an aura build, which looked like fun as well. I may not do that one just because it's blatant plagiarism, so maybe we won't do that one. But yeah, I think the Aether Panetti's Spellbinder leveled as pets, and then Aether Ray, or a Vitality Caster, probably Oppressor, or I don't know. If you've got any suggestions, chuck them in the comments. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe a pet build, honestly. I don't want to do a Conjurer. Oh my god, they're absolutely tortured a level. If I was going to do a Conjurer, I would do it with merits, with mandates, with potions. I would go around and collect all of the lore notes I could, and I would just skip as much of normal as I can, because low-level pet Conjurers are just absolute cancer. They are ridiculously slow. Your pets don't have any levels in their AoEs. You've only got like 3, maybe you've got a temporary one from an item or something, but like, no. So if I do a pet build, it'll probably be a Kabbalist. I was thinking of a fire conversion Kabbalist, which could be fun. From what I understand of pet builds, the Kabbalist is probably the highest damage version. Although I don't know, some people seem to think Conjurers are more damage. I really struggle to get over the early leveling being absolute pants, and just the fact that you have so few pets. Conjurers seem like they are much better at killing a boss, or maybe not much better, but they are better, because everything can gang up on one target. But like this room here, there's like 8 different targets in it. If every single one of my pets goes and attacks them, they're powerful pets, so they're gonna one-shot everything in there. But it's gonna be like, whomp, you're gone, whomp, you're gone, whomp, you're gone. And like, they have to go through them one at a time. I mean, they do have some AoEs, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Conjurer. I'm going to go around here, collect these Aether Shards. I think I mentioned it before, but you cannot have enough Aether Crystals, Aether Shards, all that stuff. Once you start doing any kind of crafting at max level, these things are going to disappear real quick. I'm getting a lot of Aether Crystals. I've got 10 of them now. Alright, let's say hi to Krieg. He should go down pretty quick. Our damage is pretty good. If you saw that little eruption underneath him, that means we're critting him as well. Alright, and that is Krieg dead. Thanks for your stuff, Krieg. Okay. What did we not do? This is all, I think, returned. So we'll just go back, turn all this in. I might cut the video and then go do Act 2 in another video. But we'll just turn all this in first. Might even hit... where are we with Devil's Crossing? Respected. We might hit on it. We'll see what happens. Yep, I was a good boy. I killed all the stuff you asked me for. Talk to Ulgrim. There's a level, that's nice. 2 more points in the bar. Okay, it is may be worth looking at this as well. If you're noticing you're taking a lot of damage, I'd probably say get this at some point, but I haven't really been noticing it yet, at least. Hopefully that yet doesn't change. Okay. Yep, 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 yep. Good chat. Glad we had it. Did I get all three of the fabrics? Where would they go? Here we go. Yes, I did. Okay. Don't want to talk to the kid. What do you need? Is this enough? Thank you. That chest is going in the bin.
Greetings, child.
How'd we go? Honored, honored. Rover's still respected. Here we go. Yes, we just hit honored. Alright. So now we buy the merit. Oh, sorry, the writ. And I'm gonna just dump all this loot as well. Actually, I should have a look at some of this. No. No, the gloves we have 35 all res. They have 17 attack speed. Well, not all res, but like total res. They're considerably better. I'm not even going to look at gloves for a while. Same with these blues. I just don't care. Boots. What are our boots? Very low resistances. We could potentially replace boots if we get a good one. These are not looking good. Velos rings or poison, don't care. Pants? No. The pants we have are pretty good. Gloves we're not interested in. These pants have a decent amount of armor, but otherwise no, no, no. All of my no. No boots. Chest? What do we got for chest? Our chest is pretty good. That one... Eh, alright. We vendor all this. Alright. So what do we get with Honored? We get 2 blueprints for things I don't need, and we get some augments. Do we have augments? We do at the moment. So we got... these are all rings and amulets, and our current ones have fizz damage and chaos resist. Okay. I don't think any of those are any good. How about the rings? I think, yeah, this ring looks alright. Piercing resist is quite nice. We may... Chunk of health, attack speed, fizz damage. I think we swapped this for the vine ring. Or we swapped the vine ring for this, rather. Kaiman's chosen augment, though. We have to go back to normal for that. I think I will go back to normal and get that off camera, though. Yeah, and we need a soul shard for that, obviously. Alright. So, I'm going to cut the video here, and go back to normal to get... Hang on, I need 6 of those for the bridge. I'm going to go back to normal to get an augment for this, and I will see you back here in part 21. Thanks very much, and goodbye.